I think we are going live. We are live. Are we live? We are live. We are doing live, and we want to kind of figure out this new live platform that they're using. It's kind of different. I don't know if it's ever very cool to always work on new stuff, right? It's always tough, it seems like. Anyway, but we will give it a whirl and see how this thing goes. So this is for the beginners, and this is number 8 on the docket for guitar lessons. So by now, hopefully you guys that are learning are just kind of learning the really first 4 frets really well. And I'm just going to move this a little bit over there. And now we're going to learn just something that we don't even need the guitar with. And that is just the letters that we're going to need to know. And so we know the names of the notes. And this is important. I know a lot of people don't even like to do this. They just want to go, hey, I just want to learn chords and that kind of thing. But how I've been teaching you is kind of the theory behind things too. Is so you're not just learning the chord or the like how to play chords, because I haven't really taught you barely any chords. But I'm trying to teach you guys, like how things look, how they work. That chromatic scale that we went over with the first 4 frets, that everything really that you need to know is in there. And so if we can just separate which ones we want to play from which notes we don't want to play out of those frets, those first 4 areas of the neck, then we're going to start making some sounds that are cool. Hopefully by now you're working a little bit on your right hand, and the right hand you can either do it a classical way where you pick, or you can do it a way that is where you are playing with a guitar pick like that, So there's many different kinds of guitar picks, by the way. Man, there's just a billion of them, but however you want. So I like doing it both ways myself. I was kind of trained both ways. So, but you might want to pick one how you want to do it. So it's nice not to have a pick, because then you could just play when you want. So what we're going to do is take out of some of these chromatic scale that we learned. We're going to now pull out some of the some notes out of there and make some noise. So let me just check out some things on this Facebook thing over here and see if I could kind of only comments over 100 characters will be shown. What does that mean? I don't know. Who knows? So yeah, we'll see how this works. Okay, so let me grab the guitar. And remember, we're just working. You guys can see this area really well, hopefully. And you see that we're just working with this. And hopefully you guys can hear this. I'll turn it up a little bit. So hopefully you can hear that okay. But everything in here, we're going to be able to play things. So this is really an important part. So now what we've been doing is just working on this. Okay, that's about it. And we've been doing a couple scales. But now what we're going to do is just take out some of the notes. And I'm going to do something really easy, like, we worked on a little bit of this A minor thing, an E minor, right? Now all we're doing is we're just playing notes, I want you to see, within this chromatic scale. Right, we're just taking some of those notes and we're putting all of our fingers down on it, and it's working, and it sounds right. But it's all within these notes, right? So what we want to do is learn the names of the notes, and that way when we go, hey, we're going to play a B or an A or a D or a G, then you go, oh, I kind of know where that's at, right? And so this is important, and it's kind of a little, I know you got to get your brain on a little bit, but hey, why not? So what you want to do is we're going to just look at these strings. There's an E string. So this is E. Now on a guitar, whatever that is the same as that one. So this is called the first string, and this is the sixth string. So the first and the sixth are the same. Isn't that cool? So check this out. You could play, that's the same, that's the same, that's the same, that's the same, that's the same. It's all the same, right? So isn't that cool? So anyway, so this is E and this is E, and those are the same. So E, we already have two notes down. Isn't that crazy? So you know that whenever you're doing on this, if you want to mimic it on the same note, just higher, you just play the same thing, same fret, just right here, right there. So now when we play the same note but at a different tone, and there's a low tone and then there's a high tone, right? And then we call it an octave. Okay, an octave is the same note, but it's either a higher tone, lower tone. Okay, so the tone is the actual frequency of the what's being played. That's the tone. So you might hear something. I've always watched those sci-fi flicks where you hear that really high tone. It's like this really high-pitched tone that they do in these weird sci-fi. And it's real high. That the tone irritates my ear. The frequency. That's what we're saying. The frequency irritates our ear. There's some frequencies that we can't even hear, right? So some tones we can't hear. So when we say octave, what we're saying is it's the same tone or the same note, it's just a different tone. So hopefully that makes some sense to you. So now this is E, this is F. Now I want you to see that E to F is what is called a half tone away. Okay, half tone away. Now F, the next one after F is G, and G is a whole tone away from F. So let's look at this again. So we got a E, we have a half tone away is F, a whole tone away is G. Okay, now let's cut to this next string, okay, for right now, because we've just been working in this area. So we're not gonna go down this way right now. We're just gonna come down this way and see how it looks. So we got E, F, G. One's a half tone, one's a whole tone. Whole tone is 2 frets away on the guitar. You with me there? So 2 frets away is the whole tone. So now we go to A. G to A is actually a whole tone. G, and then I'm just hitting the 5th string open. That's all I'm doing. So G, A is the whole tone, then A to B, that's my 2nd finger on the 2nd fret, 5th string, B, that's a whole tone away, right? A, B. Now B to C is a half tone away. B to C is a half tone away. C to D, next string, D, is a whole tone away. D, C to D is a whole tone away. And we got D to E is a whole tone away. And now we're at the octave. Now we're back to E. So if we play E and we play just that note, that's an E. So what we have so far is learning the notes is E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. So there we go. Okay, so we see how this works, right? So we got, there's a bunch of half notes, half tones, and whole tones that are in this scale and that represent what we're, or let's just say in this scale, and they can change, meaning we could change those half steps and whole steps if we wanted to, but it would sound different, right? Because now we're changing the frequency of something. So, but these are the notes: E, F, G, A, B, C, D, and then we're back to E. That's it. And that sounds crazy, but that's it. That's it. That's like all. I mean, we're finished. Kaput. The end. There is no more. Now, all we can do to make more is either slide up a little, up one, or slide down one. But the interesting thing is this is called sharps and flats. So if I'm playing a G, and I went up one and made it sharp, that's called G sharp. If I was playing G and I went back one whole step or half step, so half tone down would be flat, G flat. Okay. G, G sharp, G, G flat. So now, knowing sharps and flats a little bit, that always a sharp is a sharp is just moving the note one up, a flat is just moving the note one down. Then you could see that what we're doing when we do our chromatic scale is we're just doing a lot of sharps and flats, right? We're going up notes, we're going down notes. But all of our regular whole notes, like the E, the F, the G, the A, the B, the C, the D, are all in here. But I'm just playing a sharp or a flat to make up this chromatic scale, so you can get your fingers working in this area. That's what I started you guys with, so you can get your fingers just working on the guitar a little bit. And so that's a little bit of understanding sharps and flats. So if someone says, hey, put your finger on a G, oh, G, and then they play a G sharp. Oh, okay, let's make it sharp. And if they go play a G flat, then you would make it one lower than the G. Just one. It's always just one. Right? Just one. Now, if you look at what we did, though, we see that this little E to F is a half tone. It's just a half tone. So if I said play E sharp, well, an E sharp is what? If I played an E and I just went one fret up, it's F. That's F. So E to F is a half tone, a half step. You can call it that too, a half step, right? Up. But a half step up from E is F. Now F has a sharp, right? So F can be sharped, but could F be flattened? Well, you could flatten it, go one lower, but one lower than F is E. So usually when we say, you don't say F flat, usually you just say E. It depends, and that's another story. But anyway, but you can see how there's from E to F is a half tone, from F to G is the whole tone away. G to A is a whole tone away. A to B is a whole tone away. Now what if I said B flat? Then you would go one lower than B. But what if I said B sharp? Well, if I went one up from B, I'm going to hit C. So B sharp is actually C. So it's important to know the half steps and whole steps here. So, and the names of the notes. E, F, G, and look at how close or how far apart they are. Then A, B, C, D, E. We're back to the octave. So that's really what you have to master. You have to master this, 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 this. That's it. You can get your brain to be wrapped around what we're talking about with sharps and flats, whole tones, half tones, with this little area, then you're going to be able to move into a greater understanding of chords. And so this is important for you guys to work on and to really get through. Now, it goes on, like you can now repeat yourself when you get to the octave, right? E, F, that's a half tone away, right? We got F to G, or it's the next string, F to G, that's a whole tone away. Then G to A is a whole tone away. So remember, whole tone is just two jumps. Half tone is just one up. So I use step and tone interchangeably a lot. So half step, whole step, half step, whole step. So let's repeat that. So we're at the octave. E. E to F is a half. F to G, next string, open G, third string. That is a whole. G to A is a whole. A to B, next string, open. So I'm on the second string now, open. So A, that was A, third string, second fret. To the second string, open. And that's B, that's a whole. And then B to C is a half. C to D is a whole. And D to E is a whole. Now we're at another octave. Isn't that cool? So we have 2 octaves in this area that we just went down. So what you did is this. That's what you did. And that was 2 octaves. So you repeated yourself twice. That's 1. That's 2. Now, can you hear that in your ear? Like, can your ear pick that up? Can your ear pick up that you're repeating yourself? Try to see if you can hear it. Alright, I messed up. Let me try it again. So did you hear the repetition of the scale? Because that's what it is. It's just going in higher tones, but it's just repeating itself. And so when you repeat yourself like this, that's what's making it sound interesting to our ears. That's the neat thing about the instrument. So when we're playing guitar and we're playing notes, see, I'm playing the same notes. I'm just playing them in different spots. And so it's just a repetition of everything you did in this first 7 notes. I know it's crazy to think that's really all the guitar is just those 7 notes. And then we either flatten or we sharpen maybe a note. And but we're just working within those 7, and then everything else is repetition. So now it's important to remember these notes. So you have to remember E. Okay, what comes after E? F. That's whole. What comes after F? G. So what you want to do is get a piece of paper out and just write E, F, G, A, B, C, D. Okay, and then the next one after D is E. It's an octave, and you can put octave above that second E. And then when you go E to F, just put a little a little bridge on your notepad between E and F, and then put. What I put is just put this. I don't know if you're going to be able to read that, but I'm going to put it up there. See how it says half? E to F is a half. And then you could put F to G, a W for whole. And then what you do is just write that out. So what you would do is you just go, oh yeah, then F to G is a whole, G to A is a whole, A to B is a whole, B to C is a half, C to D is a whole, D to E is a whole. And so you just put those things down, okay? And you'll go, whoa, okay, I got that down. That's pretty good. And then everything else and then repeats, remember? So you need to know the names of the open strings so that you know exactly, like this one's B, this is B to C is going to be a half. And then B to C, or C, or yeah, B or C to D is going to be a whole. So you need to know the names of the open strings. So how I always did it as a kid was I made up stuff. So I started down at the bottom, I think, or the top, which is the E, first string. Every boy, girl, dog ate eggs. And that's how I remembered it when I was in elementary school. Every boy, girl, dog ate eggs. And so I just, it was a little acronym for me. So that way I could remember, like, oh, D is right here. And that means if D is here on this string, to move from D to E, that is a whole step. So if I put my finger here, I know that's E, and I know that's E, and I know that's E. I got 3 E's going. Isn't that cool? So anyway, you got little E, you know where things are at. Like if that's A. A is the 5th string open. So from A to B, if I want to play the B on that string, where's it at? Oh, it's right there. A to B is whole step. So that's how we're kind of doing it, okay? So hopefully that makes sense when we're learning the guitar, okay? We can always sharpen and flat things, but we have to know where these notes originally are at. And then after we know where they're originally at, then we can kind of tweak with them and do different things. So on a guitar, when you hear someone playing a note, and it might sound really interesting, the chord might sound really cool, but what they're doing is they might be sharpening or flattening a note. It just depends. And it might sound a little interesting, but that's what makes guitar kind of cool and makes it really unique. So there's different layers, right? You can get down deep and deep and deep. So hopefully that is a good lesson. I know it seems like a real beginner lesson, but it's an important one, so that when we start building chords, when I tell you the 1st, the 3rd, and the 5th, you start going, oh, I know what he's talking about now. Because a lot of people, when they're learning chords, they just remember like the patterns, the form of it, right? And like, oh, that's an A minor. And if I say, well, why is that an A minor? They go, I have no clue. It's just A minor. Well, no, that's not good. Because what if I said play A7th? Then they go, I don't know what that is. Or how about A9th? How about A11th? How about suspend the A? What does that mean? They won't know what to do. Sharpen the 3rd, sharpen the 5th, flatten the 3rd, flatten the 5th. They won't get it, right? So they're stuck just in these things. And that's cool if you want to just, if you're just, wanting to do that, I guess that's fine. But that's not me. I like to learn and play guitar. So anyway, hopefully that helps you guys with just getting your brain on and just learning 7 notes, man. Knowing where they're at, right? E, F, G, A, B, C, D. That's what we got to learn. And then it repeats itself, and we will get more technical next time. And pretty soon, you guys are going to be building chords. And if you follow this, you don't even gonna need me anymore. You're gonna go, oh, I get it. I know the theory. I know the math behind this. And so now what I'm going to do is just start doing it, and you'll start getting things so quick where you're going to play a C and you're going to go, I don't want to know if I want to do it that way. Why don't I play it that way? See, you're going to already start knowing what you're doing, and you're going to be like, man, I know I can do this, and it's going to be safe, and it's going to sound great. So, hey, bless you guys. Have a great one, okay? Have a great day. Bye-bye.